Go on, and I tell you that today on the program, more troops deployed to flashpoints over southern Kaduna reprisal killings as reps move to block influx of foreign herdsmen. States ban large gatherings, take other measures over coronavirus fears, just as federal government plans supplementary budget for COVID-19 vaccines. Governor Fayemi and former IG mobilize support, I should say, for community policing. And later on, we'll share this with you. Kwara State Governor spreads joy with surgical inventions. Is that interventions? But let's tell you quickly, I am hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. Jide, good evening. It's another Friday. Welcome back.
Friday. It's Monday.
Do you know, it's like a virus.
Because you know once it's Friday, you have the license to go to a few places. You're already imagining that this is...
I'm sorry, it is a Monday. I beg your pardon, please. This is not deliberate. But we do have the Ikorodu boy, proud Ikorodu boy, Mayor Akinpelu guesting. Mayor, somebody said you are Mr. White. Your shoe white, cap white, everything white.
You know, my shoe is not white.
Okay,
my shoe is not
okay,
white.
let's see.
You are asking me to make you...
But
okay,
I mean, I like white.
Okay.
I like the purity.
You know, I'm wondering what you were like in primary school.
Yes, I developed my love for white long ago when I was a reporter. Okay. You know, I did a story on those who wear white. And
He's always been a lover of Mike Hebrew.
Yeah, so
I should have remembered that. Okay. Welcome. So the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, folks, let's get cracking. Our first story for the evening. You know, we continue to live in depressing and desperate times in our country. Kaduna State on the mind. The mindless reprisal killings in Zango Kataf, local government area of southern Kaduna, endures without let. 4 villages of Ongwan Geya, I hope I got that right, Ongwan Gimba, Ongwan Makama, and Apimbu came under intense fire from gunmen who roamed freely for hours. More military troops have been drafted to the troubled spots. Meanwhile, the influx of foreign herdsmen into our territory remains a troublous enterprise. And so members of the House of Reps have urged the federal government to halt alleged herdsmen from other African countries who invade our territory. Jide, sometimes you think you are watching a film, but this is real. Let's start bottoms up. Herdsmen just walking with ease into our territory.
Yes, because our borders are not policed in the real sense of the word. And if you've been to some border communities, you will see that there's really no distinct demarcation between our country and the Niger Republic. Sometimes it's just a log of wood placed on 2 big stones that is used to demarcate
Nigeria and the other countries.
Yes, you see, and people crossing will just, sail over that log of wood. They come into the country, and then anyone who has been to Katsina State, been to Jigar, Megatari in Jigar.
Okay.
We share a border with Niger Republic, and in Adwa in Katsina State too. Yeah. We also share border with Niger Republic.
Yeah.
I've been to both places. I can tell you, it's like there's really no. We are so wide open. Let me just put it that way. There's a lot of business, going on between both countries. In Mayadua, people come, buy cattle, and know that yes, it's good for us to have
interaction.
Yes, business interaction with our neighbors, but it's not all of our neighbors that you can actually describe as good people. A lot of them come into our country to foment trouble, to kill our people.
And then go back.
And then go back. Some of them bring in illicit weapons into our country, especially through Niger Republic. It's really troubling because we share borders with Niger Republic, extensive borders stretching to about 1,500 kilometers from Kebbi in the northwest right up to Borno in the northeast. And I'm talking about between 6 to 7 states.
Niger,
yes,
Chad, well, I hear Cameroon, a bit of Cameroon.
Yeah, yes, actually, Borno State shares borders with 3 countries.
Okay.
Cameroon, Chad, and Niger Republic. Yes. But our border with Chad is not really extensive.
Okay.
You know, but Niger Republic, Yobe,
the whole stretch.
Yobe, Borno, Jigawa, Sokoto, Katsina, all of those countries. You have
the man on the street would ask you, is it really difficult to man the border as it is, especially northwards?
I think it's difficult because the illegal entry points are too many. And people want to foment trouble. They will not use the conventional border posts. They have no business. Boko Haram, for example, like when we closed our borders, weapons were still coming in. From Chad, from Libya into Chad, and then into Nigeria through Niger Republic. They need that ceaseless flow of weapons for them to continue their killing campaign
and so on
against our people. So the moment they are unable to have access to those weapons, then their days are numbered. You know, their days are numbered. So that's why you see that Borno North, where through which these weapons can come in, is very crucial to Boko Haram. And a lot of Borno North, an overwhelming expanse of land in Borno North is ungoverned or unoccupied by people. Soldiers are not present in a lot of the communities, no presence at all, and people don't live in a lot of them anymore since 2014. People who have fled, so they are able to bring in their weapons. And where they've been resisted, where it's on record that we placed soldiers, they've succeeded in intimidating soldiers, and we've had to close some of our military formations in those areas.
So quickly, before I get to Mayor, the border closure you expect to have inflicted a lot of, a lot of problems, to become a lot of problems for the invaders?
Because they don't use, first and foremost, I'm not convinced that if Boko Haram were to be coming into the country with weapons, that the customs men are capable of stopping them. Because even bandits in Sokoto, is on record by bandits attacked custom border posts and took them away and caused ransom to be paid. That's for people who are supposed to police the borders. Now, given the capability that they have, a fighting force that is capable of confronting the military, going to military bases, the ambushing military men, you know that you cannot overwhelm them with paramilitary force. So this is one reason we are unable to. In fact, many customs outposts in the northeast have been abandoned. That's another thing. The reason they've been abandoned is
we'll get back to that, Mayor. But the crux of the story is the freewheeling attitude of these gunmen. Kaduna on the mind. Kaduna cannot leave my mind, your mind, anybody's mind. The freewheeling attitude is what worries me. And you now talk about reprisal attacks.
Yeah, I think it's failure of leadership, because maintenance of law and order is the primary duty of government. When you fail in that duty, you encourage criminality. When people know that they can get away with anything, they will do it. And because our borders, we have no choice, because even in facing Boko Haram, our military is overstretched that they are not capable of doing that. So we don't have any means right now to police our borders. It's not only in the north, it happens everywhere. If you go to Semeboda, the bulk of rice and vegetable oil and
smuggled
cars,
in.
yes, smuggled in just Semeboda is enormous. Because
even now, as
even
we speak.
now, yes, because people will not take the conventional border posts. They have a lot of rules that they can take, and they are also harmed. It's just that it happens on a larger scale in the north because of the wideness of the border.
Yeah.
That's why it's so prevalent there. But the government, until government find a way of maintaining law and order, what happened in Kaduna will continue to happen, because that's always been happening, and it will continue to happen.
Mayor, you don't sound alarmist to me.
No. But that's the reality. Because if we know that this killing in southern Kaduna has been happening forever, and it's because those people, we don't have enough of us to keep them in check. Sometimes we'll do that. You know, there will be times that it will go down for some time when the security forces are able to overpower them. But now, because there is so much criminality and banditry happening into large places in the north, it's easy for them to come in.
The man on the street would look in his mind's eyes, the map of Kaduna. Southern Kaduna is here. Northern Kaduna, how do they come in? Unchecked.
Since the time of Sango Kataf crisis, we've always had that issues. Because,
in the Babangida
years.
Yes,
because there is this major difference between the north and south of Kaduna in terms of ethnic, in terms of religion. So they've always had issues in that part of the country. So, and people that want to get involved in criminality, distance is not a major factor for them. It's not a major factor for them, because anything they want to do, they can always move to those places, especially when they have
which is telling you and I that they are more organized, perhaps, more than our military forces.
Of course, they are organized. Of course, because what they are doing is basically military expedition. It's just that it's different. It's just that it is not so labeled. But they are military men. Most of these people involved in this banditry is either those who are mercenaries, those who have fought in Libya, those who have fought in Mali, the Tuaregs who have fought in Mali, those who maybe used to work with Boko Haram and all these other people. So they are trained. They know how to use firearms.
And you ask, sometimes naively, why are they targeting the South? Or maybe, am I seeing? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
The truth is, there's a long history of animosity between the Southern Kaduna and their brothers who are not from Southern Kaduna. And it looks like a mutually assured killing campaign. Both groups are bent on killing one another. And when it seems like peace is about to be achieved, suddenly you hear the bad news. You know the role that journalist Hangout contributed, the role that journalist Hangout played in trying to bring about peace. I remember one of the panelists that we brought on the show sending me a message to say, Jide, I'm so happy to tell you that we have made big progress in Southern Kaduna. Peace will soon come to our area. And then the following week, the same community that had set the right example for peace in that region, that's Zongo Kataf, one of the communities in Zongo Kataf, where the initiative for peace was actually born, I would say born, or conceived this year. Not that there had not been efforts in the past, but that effort was novel. Because,
a major one.
Yes, because both sides now came out to apologize. I'm sure you remember that incident. They came, apologized to one another, and they said no more killings. We've agreed. The youths were involved. The traditional ruler of the community was involved. And we were happy. In fact, I was discussing with the former former NNPC GMD, Yakubu.
Okay.
Because he's from that area.
Yeah.
And he had an event center, he built an event center in the area, and he made it available for them to have this JoJo session designed to achieve peace in the area. And then suddenly we had another round of killings in the same place,
That's where,
so you see clearly that some people have made up their minds that no, there must not be peace. And if that's...
So it pays them. And you're wondering how?
Merchants of war. That's what is called the war economy.
Okay.
The people benefit from war.
The longer the war, the more their pockets are lined.
Their pockets get lined. So for such people, they would not want the war to end. It's just like the Boko Haram war. The day everyone begins to sing from the same hymnal.
Or the same choir.
Yes. You are singing from the same hymn book. The war will end. But there are people who do not want the war to end. They made up their minds that no, this war must not end. So that is the thing. We are in contention against the enemies of peace. So our own determination to ensure peace has to be strengthened. The governor of the state and the people working for him, leaders at all levels in Kaduna must tell themselves that, look, enough is enough.
Okay, Jide, we have company now, a very important company. Sam Aruan is, by definition, the Commissioner for Internal Security in Kaduna State. Sam, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, Sam, what can you tell us now?
When, first and foremost, before I answer you, I heard my elder brother Jide talking about the fact that the governor of the state and the people that are working around the governor should tell themselves the truth and other critical stakeholders. Well, my take-off here is this. As a government, we are deeply committed to the issue of peace and security, not only in southern part of the state, but the entire state. You can compound this from our commitment and dedication in all the critical flashpoints in the state, from Benongwari, Chukwu, to Kaduna, Abuja, route to the southern axis of the state, and the emerging front now around Zaria, Soba, Kubau, and other flashpoints.
Okay.
Now, to answer you, the issue is very simple, like Jide rightly captured it. While there are people that are working for peace, who are working day and night, making a lot of sacrifices to ensure that there is peace. On the other hand, there are people who also want the crisis to persist or to continue.
Yeah.
Why? Because when crises end, that is the end of their grip of what they make out of the conflict. And you know, we are dealing with a very complicated crisis here, a crisis that can be viewed from religious, ethnic, and political perspectives. And all these usually make understanding the problem very difficult.
Yeah.
And what we have also understand in Nigeria, not only in Kaduna, from the very moment that emotions, sentiments, prejudice, and biases form part of the interrogation, we realize that understanding the problem will usually become an exercise.
Sam, okay, so let's make it a dialogue. Sam, as commissioner responsible for internal security, don't you think, or do you have, can you place a finger on where the problem is? Let's start from there.
Well, like I said, I have told you where the problem is. Not quite long ago, His Royal Highness the Agwatia and other critical stakeholders met. They all agreed that let there be peace. Yeah. All parts were signatories to the agreement that were reached. And we enjoyed relative peace. Suddenly, the district head of Gidan Zaki in Atiap Chiefdom was killed alongside with his 9-year-old son. Now we begin, that starts a setback for what we have achieved over time.
Okay.
Now suddenly, on Friday, the Nigerian military reported to Kaduna State government that 7 persons were killed overnight at Gora Gang in the Zemzem community. Then while we are managing that again, the military returned with another operational feedback that another 7 people were killed in Kaduna local government area in a reprisal attack. Suddenly again, we have another counter attack. As I speak to you now, not quite long ago, the military in the latest operational feedback to government just informed
Sam,
that they have recovered 3 decomposing bodies. So you can see the complicated nature of this. So on the side of government, we are doing our best. We are engaging critical stakeholders. The Kaduna
Sam, in taking this home, therefore, are we going to stay like this? Is there no answer to it?
No. It's totally unacceptable, and I have answer. We have answer. We have answer to this problem. The first answer, are you with me?
I'm with you.
I said we have answer to this problem. The first answer is recourse to the law. Recourse to the law by all sides that are involved in the conflict. What do we mean when we say recourse to the law? Since 2015, the position of Kaduna State government has been very clear. Clear in the sense that if pastoralists in the course of grazing, they come under attack, or their cattle are rustled, or they face one problem or the other. The golden rule said by Kaduna State is this: recourse to the law, report to state government, report to security agencies. We are not.
Sam, when you report and nobody, Sam, sorry, Sam.
Excuse me.
Hold on. You, as commissioner in charge of internal security in Kaduna, it must pain you to the marrows when in your dear state, these things keep happening and no answer to it. Is anybody above the law?
No one is above the law. The law is there to protect lawful citizens and also punish those that break the law for general security. And
assure me that somebody is going to get punished. Sam, tell me somebody is going to get punished very, very soon.
I didn't get you, but I didn't get you, but I would appreciate if you allow me to round up this concept of my...
Okay. Round up now.
Round up takes 30 seconds because we can do it here.
This thing applies to most community, to having communities. If someone goes to farmers, will be very careful.
All right. Sam, on this program, time is the master, but I wish you Godspeed. Somebody must be made to answer for this crazy, it's senseless crimes. Enough is already too much. By the way, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Mayor, I'm pissed off, but then let's maintain my cool.
I understand what the Honourable Commissioner said, but I don't seem to agree with him. Because the problem is that as a commissioner in charge of internal security, what I expected him to tell us is what you have put on ground to stop this kind of killing. Because part of the problem has to do with banditry.
Yes.
You know, because if some people come, it's possible that those who killed the traditional ruler that led to the reprisal may be bandits. It's possible that they could be bandits. But the problem is that within that kind of environment, there is distrust already. So if they agree that there should be peace and they enjoy relative peace, what broke the peace was the death of that traditional ruler. And it could have been, so what I expected him to say is to say, okay, this is the security framework that we have put in place to stop this kind of thing happening again. Because if not, it's just be the same thing.
It's like listening to a broken record.
Really, in fairness to him, and to the state government. I know that they have security men on ground. One of the big problems that we have is the fact that there is a pressing need for military formations in that area. If you look at Kaduna, we really do not, given the volatile nature of that area, we do not have enough military presence. There should be military formations in parts of that place. We've not really had that. And the governor once complained that there is an urgent need for a military formation, a big army formation in that area that can protect that place.
Yeah.
Then, of course, people also complain that sometimes, too, you see these crimes being committed not far away from where security men are stationed. Yet they are unable to stop these people.
Let me stop you. Sorry, let me stop. We must go on a commercial break. We'll be back. We take it up from there. I'm sorry. Please bear with us. We'll be back shortly. Folks, we must get going. Kaduna State on the mind, specifically southern Kaduna, Zango, Kataf, local government area. Jide, they won't know any Christmas. They won't. And it's crazy.
It's, sometimes it's even a risk to try to celebrate, to do any celebration of any kind. I've seen wicked people like this attack a wedding. I've seen in Kaduna, I've seen these terrorists attack a tourist destination in that state, perhaps the most famous tourist destination in that state. They went there and killed people. So you then ask yourself, what is going on? As the commissioner said, the refusal of people to allow the law to take its course is a big problem. If you are attacked, rather than take the law into your hands, you let the security agencies deal with the situation. But our people will not, they will not lodge any report with it.
And aggrieved people.
Yes, they want to go and avenge the killing
themselves.
Once they assume that, oh, this must have come from these people, they go there and avenge. And when you have that cycle of reprisal attacks, it will not end.
Yeah.
That is the major. I've never seen where people reprisal killings are as common as we have in Kaduna. They just don't want to forgive each other.
It has to do with perception. If people believe that the government is not fair to them, it is wrong what they do. Yes, I concede. But when people lose faith in government, they want to resort to serve them.
But that is not right.
Yes, that's not the solution. But that's the problem, because over time, the people of Southern Kaduna believe that the government forces will stack against them, and that they've not been fair. You know, it has always been like that. As I said, if you remember that the top general in the army that was a leader in Sabo Kantab was arrested for supporting things like this and was sent to jail. You know, so people believe that, oh, if we report that if we report to government will probably not do what is right. So government itself, that's a
Mayor, let's bring it up to date. The House of Reps has waded into the matter. They want the central government to
stop herdsmen from coming in. It can't work. They know. You know, there are certain things that cannot work. You cannot say that you are not going, because nobody invited the herdsmen in the first place. So telling them that, it's not as if it is government that invited the herdsmen. And it's so easy because of the border, because of the porous border.
Most of them, they can screen people. We should not be wide open to all comers.
I agree.
But people come into our country illegally, we have to find a way to
turn them back. Yes,
but I also hear, gentlemen, that you don't need to physically man your borders. You can go electronically. Science has
we don't have that technology.
Okay, all right.
For now. So.
Okay, many of these things sound plausible, but I know if we want to do it, we would do it. Kaduna, you are always on my mind, and I'm sorry about what's happening. I wish the governor there Godspeed. To our next story, pedantic or hypercritical Nigerians need to hear this news for an umpteenth time. COVID-19 was real the first time and much more so this second time. States around the country are taking no chances. A ban on large gatherings is in force as I speak in many states, in addition to other measures designed to contain a resurgence of the contagion in our country. The federal government is planning a supplementary budget to capture the delivery of COVID-19 vaccine. So we have gotten to that stage where we will talk about vaccines.
Yes, the vaccines, we are happy that the vaccines are here, but they won't necessarily put an end to this pandemic. They won't. How we can defeat, we know how we can defeat the pandemic, and that's what we need to do. We need to do our best to ensure that we maintain those safety protocols.
Protocols,
Yeah.
okay.
Which one is making this noise now? We need to do our best to maintain the safety protocols, and that is the cheapest way to avoid infection, because we do not have the health system that can support, that can bail us out in the event of an explosion. So everyone has a responsibility to keep himself safe, and government also has a responsibility to do the needful. Countries of the world, Australia, Germany, France, they are all banning flights from the UK now, especially London, which is seen as the epicenter of the new strain of the virus. When are we going to take that decision? The reason we faced this problem was because we also didn't decide to shut our airspace on time. So are we going to simply, even if a country like Ireland, as close as it is to the UK, they've already taken a decision to not let flights come in from the UK. And the number of flights between our airports and the airports in the UK is huge. So this is a time for us to take decision. We have to take a decision.
Yeah.
Government has to take a decision. Because how did this disease even spread around the world? It was largely through air travel. Largely through air travel. So we've got to do something. We can't keep allowing those flights to come in when everyone else is banning them.
Let's quickly go there. The impression is given that many Nigerians who travel from abroad back to the country bring these things, but I don't see that happening. Because if you are...
It's not necessarily Nigerians, foreigners who come into our country.
But if any foreigner coming into this country and is tested and is positive, won't be allowed to fly, right, wrong? I may be wrong.
That is when you assume that everyone gets tested. We've already received reports
from the Igbo country.
Everybody should be tested.
Igbo country.
Hold on. We've already received report that people are bypassing the test, that some greedy Nigerians are producing fake PCR results for people.
Which they brought from?
No, generated here. Because when you land in Nigeria, you're obligated to go and do the test. Now people are resorted to making money by coming up with fake PCR results that they hand over to people when they come into our country. A newspaper did an investigative report showing that in Abuja especially, people are coming in, they are not doing tests, they are just paying for the already prepared test results. And there are documents that people have generated claiming that the documents emanated from the office of the chairman of PTF. That's Boss Mustafa. Even Boss Mustafa has responded to that already. So why do you think? It's probably because of this that Abuja appears to be the new epicenter in our country. Because look at the number of confirmed cases coming from Abuja alone. It's unusual. So we just have to address all of these issues. I am convinced that air travel is one of the greatest means by which this thing is spread across the world. So let's address, if countries of the world are saying, okay, flights from Britain because there's a new strain of the disease that is said to be extremely dangerous, emanating from London especially. So how do we address the situation? Are we simply going to fold our arms and watch again when we can see countries already taking that decision? The UK flight, no. So we have to take some of those bold steps, while the individuals themselves know that they have an obligation to themselves to keep themselves clean. Everywhere you go with what's it called?
Your clean bill of health.
Your sanitizer, alcohol-based sanitizer. Wherever I'm going, I take it with me. So that if I shake hands with you, since I do not trust you, I can then...
Like this?
Yes. Look, this is my...
Yes, I have it in my car too.
Wherever I'm going, I am myself with it.
Okay.
If I shake hands with any of you, I do not trust you.
You don't trust me?
Yes.
You are sitting next to me. Okay, Mayor, we'll come back to that. Mayor, but so many Nigerians are said to be asymptomatic. Please break that down for the man on the street.
Yes. It is possible for you to be infected and not show symptoms. You will not be sick. You may not even know that you are carrying the virus, but you can spread it. And that is the major problem.
Which is dangerous.
Yeah, which is very dangerous because you are not even aware that you are positive, that you are carrying the virus, because you are not showing signs of being sick. But you can easily transmit it to other people. And that is why it spreads really. So that is why even when you do tests, and you bring certificate that you have done tests, it doesn't really change anything, because between the time you did that test and the next time, you can get infected by someone else.
Within minutes.
You can get infected and transmit it. So the most important thing is still following the protocols. Wear mask, use your sanitizer, try as much as possible to avoid large gatherings, do outdoor events, and try to reduce indoor events, and then don't do, because for example, part of the problem, Lagos State seems to be doing well when it comes to guidelines and protocols.
Yeah.
But whatever they do, the Lagos State just announced now as a reaction to the second phase that schools should close, churches should operate at 50%, and all that. And they put those protocols in. But at the same time, another agency of government announced that if you don't sync your SIM with your national ID card number,
within 2 weeks,
that they are going to block your line. So everybody now is going to national ID card offices, and you see the crowd.
I saw the crowd today.
Desperate crowd. Now they have to even bribe people, but and that is a super spreader thing. Because now, even if you follow all the guidelines,
the Lagos government has now gone ahead to
because if you follow all the guidelines,
they've shut the office.
Yes, if you follow all the guidelines, and you allow that kind of thing to happen, and people spread it, because the part of the problem is community spreading.
A popular nightclub was shut down some 2 days ago.
Yes.
So you can't fault government at that point.
No. They've been told to close down.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. When you close down a nightclub, that's what I'm saying. When you close down a nightclub, and then in the same state, that in the event that happened, the national ID card office happened, it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why I said
you can count how many people is in Cubana. I know Cubana very well. You can count how many people that attend Cubana. No, what they did is illegal. I agree. So they shouldn't have done that.
It is illegal, it is illegal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not justifying.
The point I'm making is that if you allow that.
What the NI at this time, when this matter came up some days back, I said it's like trying to cause Nigerians to commit suicide. That's what Pankami is trying to do.
That's what they are doing.
When you come up with an unrealizable deadline, 2 weeks, you know in your heart that it's not possible, because you are a scientist. You know in your heart that given what you have in place, the capacity of NIMC, that you cannot do it. In 10 years, in 10 years, you register only 42 million people, and you want to register 166.5.
The balance.
You want to register 166.5 in 2 weeks. It's totally unconscionable, very wicked suggestion. And I knew that this crowd, this unprecedented crowd, is what we will see. And we've been talking about it. So Lagos State has taken the right decision. Because you can't be taking those steps to say, okay, do this, and then an agency of government, they are saying, okay, that the commission 173 vendors to register people. how many people can those ones register? So you cannot be sabotaging a government.
That's what they are doing.
Bent on addressing this big health problem by allowing people to gather.
Because that's a super spreader. Super spreader.
So they had
because they are
the moment I saw those pictures today, I was worried. And the responsible government knows what to do. They just decided that, okay, that they should shut that place. Ideally, they should have given Nigerians 6 months.
Oh, yes.
The way the banks did when they were going to do BVN.
BVN.
Every account holder in a bank has a BVN.
BVN, yes.
So, and you did not have to
even we
put
registered these SIMs, and we did it effortlessly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was seamless. When we were registering, we know there was a time there was a law for us to register our SIMs.
Yes,
and it was done.
And gentlemen,
but this one, you just showed laziness on part of government.
At the time, Boko Haram is still alive and well, and you know, we talk about them going after soft targets. People will huddle around a particular center, and anything is up.
Very in the light of what happened in Konduga local government some days back, when a female suicide bomber.
That's it. And the luck that we have now is that Boko Haram does not have the kind of capability they used to have when it comes to suicide bombing.
They close their cells.
Yes.
It's not as if we have extraordinary security.
No, it's just
because I see people make so much noise about it. It's just a change in strategy for a terror group bent on surviving. And Al-Shabaab did that in Somalia.
Yeah.
But to be making it look like, oh, it's somebody who put security in place. When I go to Abuja now, they take me from the airport. We move straight into the town. Nobody checks us. In those days, they used to check everyone. You don't even know who is going. People come in lorries. They put all kinds of goods. You don't know whether they have bombs underneath. So even the measures that we should take, that we used to take back then, we are no longer taking. It's just that those guys, they closed those cells and concentrated on the northeast. They know that they cannot survive if they continue to spread across the country.
They won't have, they won't have
it's just a strange strategy. That change in strategy, Al-Shabaab did it. They did it and concentrated in a few places where they are
before Al-Shabaab they used to operate very well in Kenya. And in some neighboring area, they will send...
They targeted Kenya because Kenya led the OAU
thing. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But now, they've reduced
areas of influence. That's how to survive. If you want to be everywhere, there's no way you survive. That was a strategy that they made, but some people are now making it look like we put some security measures in place across the country. No.
All right. I hear we must move on, but then... Okay. Let's look at nationwide strategies. What do you expect state governments to do? Of course,
concerning COVID.
Oh yeah,
most other states to take a cue from Lagos. It's Lagos
and Kaduna.
Lagos and Kaduna. You see, because most of the states are not bothered. There are some states that even believe that they don't have. It doesn't exist in their state. You understand?
Might I take you to Cross River, where the CP, Commissioner of Police, lamentably died due to
COVID complications,
and the #1 citizen is still not persuaded.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
But the good thing is that at least tests are taking place there now.
Which is
more than 90 reported cases now from that side online.
So they should
ask him about his state, Kogi. His governor is still not persuaded.
But the thing is, he knows that COVID exists. He knows in his heart, he knows that COVID exists. You see, they are my people. I don't like talking about them all the time. And I even told some of the governors hates that I don't want to talk about this man anymore. This is a second term for him.
But we are not talking politics.
No, you see, because I will be compelled to say a few things that I actually didn't plan to say.
No, please don't.
The truth is, when he goes into Aso chambers to see the president,
he marks up. Yes.
So it is for a reason. Those ones are not prepared to take the risk that he is taking. They know that it's
it's a risk.
Yes, and the story that he is spreading that it does not exist, angered COVID, Aso Rock is not convinced. So use your mask. We have pictures of him using
Oh,
his
yeah.
mask.
Oh, yeah.
Then when the chief judge of the state died of COVID,
And
that's
his aide,
Justice
I
Ajana.
remember.
Justice Ajana died of COVID. In fact, he was in the Gwagwalada Isolation Center before he died. He was buried in Abuja with all the measures that NCDC officials observe when burying a victim. And the governor was present. Again, with his mask firmly covering his nose and his mouth.
Yeah,
So-
but he's still living in the air. Because the other
But
day,
he witnessed the burial,
Of course.
and he put everything in place to protect himself.
Sir,
I still have the pictures. So the thing
Is that what you call political histrionics?
no, there are many things involved. Again, don't let's go into.
No, you are
the
opening
listen.
my third eye, Jide, because
You are the
most
one
of
who
the-
asked about my state. I didn't even want to talk
No,
about
I don't
it.
even know your
Even
state.
when you knew that
Are you sure you
it
don't know
used
your
to
state?
be my state. You
It's
knew that it
Ekiti
used to be
state,
my
yeah.
state. You knew that it used to be my state, but you referred to it as my state because you wanted me to talk. You know? So, but
it used to be your state.
he knows. He knows.
Ask
that
him,
it used to be my
used to
state.
be state until when? Yeah, so
You
let's
know that it is my.
So,
until
okay.
can't defy me, five you people.
So
Before you-
it is better for other states to
All right.
try to put in place
Yeah.
protocols, to try
Yeah.
to invest the necessary money that they will need to do. Because part of the problem is that some states do not want to spend money.
It's a very expensive.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
very expensive thing.
but,
You have to do
is it
testing.
their money?
It is
No,
government
but
money.
they will love to use the money in other areas. That
So
is
that's
the
part
thing.
of the problem.
That's part of
They don't
what,
want to spend the money.
See,
It costs a lot of money
That's what
to fight
the
COVID.
governor of Kogi State, for example, is angry that at this time when we could use money to do this, to do that, this COVID thing is here.
No, we cannot do anything. Nobody prepared for COVID.
Does
It's
he
not
have
our
a
fault.
choice? Okay, Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Mr. Secretary to State Government, COVID is launching a comeback, and you are not doing anybody any good by sticking to your guns. And if you do stick to your guns, there must be, I think the bullet must be there. Okay.
No, we won't give him rubber bullets.
Okay then, we must move on to our next story. All right. The year 2020, that's our third story now. The year 2020 has turned out to be one that puts police and policing on an aggressive front burner. From state policing to the community one, the debate on the propriety or otherwise of these various types of policing is still germane. Ekiti State First Citizen, Dr. Kayode Fayami, pitched his tent with community policing. To him, a recourse to it would stem the tide of criminality in our country. Our former police chief, Mr. Sunday Ehidero, who was a guest at a stakeholder forum on community policing, seconded the motion. As Governor Fayami lamented, they had recommended community policing over the last 20 years. The reports are there, Mayor.
Yes.
So we are not talking about anything new.
You see, part of the problem is that we don't, I think it has to do with many years of military government. The police is
We have not
seen-
recovered from it.
No, but what I'm saying is that at that time, because when the military were in charge, they deliberately did not fund the police so that there won't be an alternate security force that can confront them. And we have not seems to change a lot from that. The police is underfunded, and because for us to be able to achieve what we want to achieve, we need to reform the police, put them in a position where they will be able to fight crime. And we have to do state police and community policing, because every crime is local. Every crime is local. And because every crime is local, the community police or state police will be more effective. And not only that it will be more effective, they will be able to complement the federal police.
And
then-
of course, the policemen and women will be from the communities.
From the community, so they will understand the community more. If, for example, if police, when you see police, when there's a crime, and they said that police have made arrests, in most cases, how do they make arrests? Because in every community, there are known criminals in those communities who runs the criminal trade in that community.
And there are black holes too.
You understand? So when the police wants to investigate a particular thing, they know who to go to and ask, who were the people that did that operation yesterday? The man will be able to tell them, oh, it's not our boys. It's some people from Mushi, or it's some people from Agege.
Ikorodu.
You understand? Or people from Ikorodu, or wherever. And they will say, okay, who are these people? They will say, oh, they say they go to the person in that Mushi to be able to say, look, some people from here operated yesterday in another location. Who are those guys? They will say, oh, it's Morufo and this guy. That is how you do it, because every crime is local. You cannot commit crime alone. In most cases, people commit crime along with other people in terms of planning and execution. So when you have policemen from that neighborhood, it is easier for them to understand and know how to fight crime in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and Jide, when a former IGP, Sunday Ehidero,
brilliant police officer.
yeah, but he was IGP.
Yes.
So what happened? And I know we have what they call a private citizens bill. The National Assembly is there.
Yeah, you see, the frustration is all of the views, the recommendations that people are coming up with now. They've been presented to government through the last 2 constitutional confabs that we've had.
Yeah.
All of these suggestions, things that need to be done to make the police better than it is. All of those suggestions are there. Just gathering dust. The issue of implementation is a problem. The issue of funding, the issue of manpower, the need to beef up manpower in the police have always been on the front burner. It's not as if it's a new thing. And then, of course, community participation in policing is now on the front burner, because we know that the issue of state police, we can't get around it unless we are able to amend the Constitution. Because the Constitution says there shall be one police. So everyone is mindful of that. So they are trying to achieve state police through other means. That is what Amotekun can achieve. But the difference is, Amotekun, even when they make arrests, they are mandated to hand over to
the police. Yeah.
They are only meant to complement the efforts of the police. There are many communities that are unpoliced, totally unpoliced. Of course, we know that we
as
do
we
not
sit
have,
here.
Yes, we do not have enough policemen.
Yeah.
Look at Lagos Island, for example. How many police stations are on Lagos Island? Look at all the way you are talking from Lekki. Nothing stops them from having a police post inside Lekki.
Look at Ikorodu.
Police station. When something happens, they are referred to Alagbon. All the way from Lekki is Alagbon that they are going.
But may I ask, please, no, just a minute. Who seemingly is afraid of community policing as we sit here?
No, I don't think people are afraid of community policing. A lot of people just have issues with what they can achieve. What many people are convinced about is just give them state police, because they believe that state police will do a better job. And the fact that the central police structure is not working for us. Even the funding of the police is so abysmal. We do not fund the police sufficiently. If not for the money that states make available, buying patrol vans for vehicles, for police, even buying armored personnel carriers for police. I remember people like the man with the huge cloth cap in Ogun State here. He bought even APCs for the police. The one that the station one in Akute, but I think it's disused now, you know. But significantly, he bought APCs for the police. And
but we applauded as many governors.
Lagos even bought boats, fly boats and other.
We applauded as many governors as aided the police by giving vehicles and stuff. But we are talking about the man who mans those vehicles. Is he well fed? Is he taken care of? Is he,
Of course
is he mobilized
Do you
enough?
know that it's only in RS in Lagos, for example, if you are operating in Lagos,
rapid
it is
response
rapid response squad that will compensate families of deceased policemen. I don't think most times in other places it's done. So what is that?
But Lagos State government has
yes, Lagos
an
has insurance scheme for them, so that when you die, your family will get compensated. You know, so other states seem to do that. In fact, that's supposed to be a federal policy. You know, to encourage people to be able to. Because why should somebody wants to die? You understand, just to protect you. So most of our policemen, they are not inspired enough because their salary is poor. The condition of service is poor. If you go to their barracks, you will weep.
You know, we can say it for the umpteenth time here. You made allusions to it. It was Alozio Gugwaja. You remember in 1986 that faced Justice, I've forgotten his name, God bless his name, when he was giving evidence about students' riot. He said an effective police system in the country would neutralize coup plotting.
Of course.
You remember?
Of course.
I know you remember.
In fact, that was why he lost. That was what I said. He said that the Congo soldiers, that what they do is just to wake up and go to their something and start drinking
the police had been deliberately scapegoated.
Yes.
They look for their trouble.
But he was doing his job.
No, because
he was a journalist.
He took pot shots at soldiers.
Yes. Because that's what I was saying, that the soldiers do not want a very effective police. Because if they have that would be an alternative.
So of course, they saw what Adewusi was able to do with
with the police.
That was well funded.
Yes, during the time, they have their own APCs, they have their own ammo and all that. So,
by the way, take a look at the screen. I like our policemen. I love them. When I see them like this, but motivate them, let them do their jobs.
I saw.
Do you know that our policemen, anytime they venture out of this country,
they do very well.
In the United Nations peacekeeping role, they do very well.
I even saw an international police parade. If you see the performance of the Nigerian policemen,
yes, I think I watched
the
it.
March past.
Yes,
I was really
one
proud.
time like that. Yes.
I think it was in Ireland.
Yes, I think I was. We don't have any problem with Nigerians. You know, Nigerians, we are blessed as people. You know, anywhere Nigerians go, even the vaccines. Nigeria was involved in it.
Yes.
This Pfizer vaccine, Nigeria was involved in it. Anywhere you go, the brilliance and ingenuity of the Nigerian come from. But the problem is leadership. When you don't, when the system is not good and not there.
Good. Let's take it home. And 30 seconds, beginning with you. Please tell the policeman he's always a friend who is reluctant. But the police is a friend, supposed to be a friend. Talk to him.
What I would say is that every profession, you should be proud of what you do. When you sign up to be a police officer, in God's name, be a good police officer.
Because you
don't look at the frustration of the system. Try to do your best as a professional, and let Nigerians be proud of what you are, because we know you have that capability to do better than what you are doing now.
Yeah.
We understand your frustration, but let that professionalism make you to do.
Jide, a notorious police officer had just been released from jail in Shomolu area. Let me keep his name. There are people like that, notorious. They can change by fraternizing with us here.
Notorious, the policeman?
Yes.
You see,
some of them are.
There is a lot that we need to do in the area of recruitment.
Yeah.
There are people who get into the police who have no business being in law enforcement because they too, by their nature, are lawbreakers. So if by your very nature you are a lawbreaker, you know, you are
going into the police force.
You have given you an opportunity, the license to simply be breaking the law. And at that point, with a gun at your disposal, you can even transform into a big-time armed robber. We've seen policemen like that who joined armed robbery gang while still in service, and they were arrested. but they still went back to it as soon as they secured their freedom. So we need to do something about recruitment. It should be the best. It should be the best of us.
You must have heard about the prison break in Enugu.
Yes.
Aided by people. We leave it there. Okay.
You remember the Anene saga now?
Yeah.
At least a senior policeman.
Senior police officer.
A senior police officer was involved. And they almost killed Omeben.
Oh, yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who was, I think, a DIG at that
At
time.
Alagbon, yeah, I remember. Okay. All right, then, let's go to our last story. You know, Yuletide or Christmas or Noel is the most ideal time for giving and, for that matter, exuding the Christ essence. In Kwara State, the story is that the Ministry of Health there has undertaken a free surgical intervention for about 1,000 patients. The idea is to operate patients for lumps, abnormal growth, groin swelling, eye surgery, and many others. For many of the beneficiaries, this Christmas is one to remember. TVC's Ibrahim Alege watched the remarkable event. So let's share that with you before we go on.
I have the injury on my breast for 2 years now. It has been paining me. I go to General Hospital in Ilorin. It's there that they had told me to go and operate it. The doctor told me that I will try to have 30 to 50,000, and I want to operate it, but there's no money for me to do it.
I noticed the lumps like 6 years ago now. Later, in 2015, the doctor then advised me to go and do a scan on my breast. That was when I did the scan. And the thing is even bigger than the size before. I didn't even bother to go back to the doctor because there's no money and all that. Until when I met someone that works here, they said government is bringing it down here for free. My mom was happy. She was very happy that God, at last, she will remove this thing.
Kehinde Adeniji and Justina Adelere are among those who benefited from the Kwara State government's free surgical intervention.
During the surgery, I didn't feel any pain that much because the doctors, they were very good. Like, even when I'm not feeling pain, they were saying, sorry, I just thank God the surgery was successful. And when they showed me what they removed, I even thought it was like 3 in the right breast, but it's even up to 10. I just thank God because it's something I can never forget in my life because it's a record on its own. At last, I'll be feeling the correct breast.
The state government, through the Ministry of Health, commenced the surgical intervention across the state in October. This little boy had groin problem. He, alongside others, were operated upon.
Every morning, if the guy wake up, I would just know that something come out at the private part. Then later I went to go and meet a doctor. Now told me that it's a serious something. By the time that I want to do the operation, the surgery, told me that I will spend 50,000. Since then, I take my money, I put it in the bank because I'm not seeing money in bulk. By the time I see the opportunity today, I thank God that this is an opportunity. Don't let me miss it.
It's very
For the eye surgery, the plan was to operate 10 in each of the 16 local government areas, but eventually no fewer than 165 persons were operated upon across the state, and some were provided with glasses.
Move the removal. After 3 weeks, the second will come out again. They say now this thing are free. This thing have been a true, have been a lie. Until I reach there, until they do the thing for me, now I know that this thing is not true. Since the time where they bought me this year, now I joined the Kwara State government.
My partner, Mama, Dr. Gambo, Ilorin, and Mogwagon, and who very perfect.
Doctor Makianku, well-trained doctors, Madon Dagmao, the Megonku, problem on Kuba, Negopi.
Magadra, Ludani, Ludato, Nepi Boafia. Mason, Boconepi Affair, Manosekena. Masavu Ludani, Masavu Mekan one zinc and Ludasavu Karane, Ludato, and Angota Musu.
I don't expect this, but now I respect this because I believe that everybody that is not in politics can see a chance. Thank the governor of Kwara State. God will bless him in life.
The plan was to operate 1,000 patients for lumps, abnormal growth, groin swelling, eye surgery, and many more. The essence is to improve the living condition of the people of the states. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Gentlemen, it is very possible. Nigerians are a good people, except when it's difficult.
Yes, and that's why someone said that when you go abroad, the culture is different. You can imagine someone visiting you and then your wife will simply go and start cooking. Is it panderiam you want to eat? And then we are a very hospitable people.
Communal in nature.
Yes, over there people mind their business a lot. Eat in your house. You don't go and start visiting people because the opportunity for free meal is there. Everyone minds his business. So, and except where it is extremely difficult, because people have their own issues too. Especially in this season, people expect you to give them Christmas gift and all that.
You cannot get rice,
but you will soon get. You know. But the truth is, there is a kind of a deluge of demands that everyone faces. People who see you on TV, they think you have so much money, and they will start. Even sometimes, even on social media, people will send the account number. Please assist.
Especially for semi-retired people like us.
And what you do is also pass the account number around.
The truth is, we can actually save many lives if government focuses more on healthcare delivery. The truth is, I remember what happened some time ago when one of our reporters here accompanied a health outreach team to Badagry, and they discovered that there were so many people suffering from goiter. I then told her, you have to go back to that place to do a special report on goiter. The story that she now did, the extensive story that she did, not only won an award,
triggered something.
It got government to go there.
That's it.
And they started fetching. Because she presented it that this looks like the community in Nigeria where you have the most number of people suffering from goiter. And the government felt riled by that reality and went there and helped those people, operated, because this superstition that no, don't touch it, this is the way you came from heaven. And no, at the end of the day, government disabused people's minds and took those things off. That was what came to my mind when I saw this story. There's a lot that we can do for our people. 160 surgery, cataract surgery for 160 people. It will go a long way, and free glasses, which reminds me of what Bola Tinubu used to do that time. That was named Digi Bola. Some governors took up the idea. We can actually give sight to a lot of people. And government needs to do a lot more of this. I appreciate the governor of Kwara State for this, and I'm sure that the people will continue to pray for him.
Mayor, and so away from all this, the governor who fixes a 1 kilometer road and calls all the musicians in the country, we can go one better by copying this. You know, look at the small boy.
Yes, that's why. You see, government is about touching people's lives. And apart from, if for example, if I'm a governor, I will probably concentrate more on doing roads to open up the state, health, and security.
When you were in primary school, I'm sure you met dispensaries.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know about
you.
Even in my village,
if you go back, dispensaries are gone.
Yes, the way we run our health, we have to take it, we have to find a way of reaching people, especially in the rural areas.
Through the primary health care.
Through the health care system. We have to strengthen our primary health care system, which is no longer there.
A lot of the diseases killing us.
Yes, it's something that they can handle.
Treatable diseases are the ones killing us.
Because, for example, if you look at this program, majority of the fees there is 50,000 naira.
People don't have it.
And
Did you see that video? Did you see that video of the former emir of Kano, where he wept publicly? A woman, I think it was even 5,000 that woman didn't have.
Oh yeah, needed.
Did you see that video?
Yeah.
And then she went to the palace, if I can recall.
Yes.
Went to the palace. That was what she needed. But unfortunately, getting to the palace,
protocols.
It wasn't as if they restrained her.
Okay.
I think it was already too late. So the child died. So the emir burst into tears.
Because a lot of people, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000.
What pushed him to tears was the fact that an amount of money that little, yet they couldn't save a life. Because while he was agonizing, people will have advised, why don't you go to this place? Before that advice came, the team must have eaten deep into the child's system at the end of the day. So the emir, the former emir Sanusi, burst into tears that what is going on. Our people are going through a lot, and a little help.
Yes, government should do more on that.
A little help is what people need.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And those doing things like this, as journalists, we have an obligation to also encourage them, thank them. You can argue that, well, it's not a big deal. It is what they were elected to do. But many of them choose not to do it. Yes, that is what they were elected to do. They don't really deserve praise. But many of them choose not to do it, and we still don't talk.
And I remember a governor gentleman who took a couple to, where is that for a popular place in the United Arab Emirates?
Oh, Dubai.
Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
To celebrate.
Yeah.
The money could have saved hundreds.
Many lives.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm
not understand you.
It's in your area that such things
happen. Come on. Okay. It's all right. That is 1 1
1 Yeah, 1
That's wasted money.
That's
wasted money. And
we see people wasting money on people who are already rich.
Oh yes.
Somebody wins a big prize. Is already so rich.
Collected so much money.
You went and gave him so much money, gave him a house, whereas there are people dying.
The one
needing serious attention.
People
need it the most.
We must go. This one way rich man Pekin, they marry rich man Pekin. He tire me. I'm not like
that's how it should be.
You say okay.
No, that's how it should be.
Security.
It should be like that.
You know why?
No, tell me why.
You know why? Because these kids go to the same schools abroad. You understand? They meet themselves. When they are in the same neighborhood.
Your daughter don't marry your driver.
No.
Okay. No, it's all right.
Okay. The girl will not
my daughter cannot marry my driver. No, there's nothing like love. My daughter cannot marry my driver. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
No, that one should not even happen.
It's not possible.
Okay,
it's not possible.
No.
How can I spend so much money to train my daughter?
We must go.
The only person who can marry is the driver.
The program is over. May you thank you.
I'm not that nice.
Say, come on. May you Akikbelu, Merry Christmas to you.
Your driver should be married by now.
My driver will marry everybody.
No, he should even be married by now. So
my driver is
Merry Christmas
so
the
driver will be saying, see him, me where I don't marry.
All right, folks. Christmas is another 4 days. We wish you well from this hangout. May every wish of yours for self, for neighbor, for country come true. That will be just it on this program for now. And we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. On behalf of the backroom boys who can't wait for Christmas morning, I am Citizen Jones Usen. Bye-bye now.